Hello, good morning, doctor. My name is Lisa Alvarado, and today we will talk about the medical historical situation with reference to the coronavirus pandemic. Let's define the term health, in which we will base ourselves or terms established by the World Health Organization Health and by the Pan American Health Organization, as we can see on the screen. Once we know this term, I would like to start by talking about how the COVID-19 pandemic changed our lives. The first case of COVID-19 was detected in Mexico on February 27 in 2020. However, at least in my case, there have already been reports of cases that present the common symptoms of the disease that at the time it could be any disease. For a simple cold to pneumonia or tuberculosis, so it was speculated that they were cases of these last two diseases. We never imagined how our lives could change so much overnight that we will end up fighting over a simple mask that we didn't wear before, even when we had a cold, not caring that we might infect someone while resting. It's amazing to see the image and you know that young people, children and adults used to walk freely in the streets. We knew each other's faces since they didn't hide behind a mask. Public places were full of people every weekend. We used technology just to be in contact without thinking that she would become or alien in all the way that was to come. I think it's important to talk about mental and dental health and the impact the pandemic has had on them. I can say that before the pandemic, very few people heard about mental health. However, as a result of the pandemic, we observed a significant increase in the levels of depression and anxiety that occurred during and after the pandemic. Confinement, employment, and the uncertain of the not knowing what happened or what will happen with a new nose, who knows, disease that was killing the population, destroyed the mental health of the population. The area of dentistry and the dental health of the population was affected because not all of us have a habit of going to the dentist frequently. Knowing the symptoms and transmission of the SARS-CoV-2 virus mean that dentists had to take extreme biosecurity measures to prevent the spread and contagions, as well as rigorous filters measures for those who attend the consultations. We will talk about the impact on the health system. Know that I have the opportunity to carry out my rotations in the hospital. I have realized the shortage that exists in public hospital of medical supplies and personnel or staff. During the COVID pandemic, the entire population realized the lack of the sector, and that because there were not enough resources to care for all the people who were getting sick. Doctors had to make difficult decisions along the way, such as prioritizing those patients who are at least 1% more likely to improve than others and are the true heroes of this story. Despite the fact that the risk of contagions was so high, and knowing that there was no vacancy yet, there were communities that did not receive health care or help for the government or didn't have the same opportunities or health care as those saved by paying for a private hospital. I would like to briefly comment on how the pandemic has affected me personally. My father lost his job because the constructions were closed, and that affects our finance. I continue studying, but it was a change to adapt to the online modality, and I was worried about having a bad internet signal and the separation from my family due to the, the closure of the brothers made me return to see my brothers until the pandemic ended, and it was sad. We will talk about the advance the COVID brought to current medicine. Thanks to the pandemic, we managed to publicize the need of the health sector. We achieved the national production of medical supplies and equipment, the COVID bonus of 20% additional to the salary for frontline workers of the IMSS is created, as well as doctors and nurses from 16 to 65 years old without chronic condition. They were admitted to non-COVID hospital with an additional salary compensation of 30%. And a very important point is that the creation to the vaccine was achieved in record time compared to the numbers of years it took to create the first vaccine that was for smallpox. It was created in 1796, but it was not until 1918 that the World Organization of Health declares the eradication of smallpox in the world. As a last point, we must consider what life was like before, what was like before and after COVID-19. I think we never imagined that things we did on a daily basis will put us at so much risk against an unknown virus and no cure at the time, that the traditional ways of teaching they were used to will become obsolete. Hand washing and the use of antibacterial gel have always been something that we use within our reach, but that not everyone it is the habit of doing. Uh, However, it was a vital action during the pandemic that helped us reduce the number of infection prevention method. Just as we never thought that a serious mask was essential to go out to carry out daily activities. To close the topic, I would like to say that it is clear that the world had a before and after COVID-19, where prevention appeared to use to be the best method to lower rates. I think that if we had not had to go in this pandemic, perhaps the world will continue build without realizing the lack that the health sector as well as the government lives day by day, seeing that health is a right to which the entire population must have access free or church. But with quality, I personality realize how important it is to say I love you to the people you love, because you never know when the last day you will be able to see them will be. And the pandemic paved the way for a new scientific generation to the born advances and a new ways of living. It is important that how whenever we invite the population to get vaccinated, and we make them see its important signs. As we realize with the pandemic, a vacancy can change your prognosis a lot. For me, the vacations made a big change. They didn't prevent certain people from getting sick, but they avoid behind in a serious state that will lead to death. And that's it. Thank you.